There are a ton of awesome features on Pixel phones that most users know about because Google makes them pretty obvious. In this video, I want to take you through some of my favorite Pixel exclusive features that don't seem to get nearly as much attention for some reason. Some of these you may already know and use, but it's likely there are at least a few here that are new to even the most die-hard Pixel fans. First up, did you know that the Now Playing widget has a history? Most people are aware of the Now Playing feature because you're asked the first time you set up a Pixel if you want to turn it on or not. This little widget will tell you whatever song is playing around you without you needing to ask. It's like Shazam, but on all the time and accessible without even unlocking your phone. However, Google doesn't make it very clear that it saves literally all the songs it tracks, which can be pretty handy. Unfortunately, getting to the Now Playing history is what's tricky. If you hit this button while music is actively happening around you, you'll get there. But that's not super helpful when you're spending a quiet morning on the couch and trying to remember that song you heard at the party the night before. To get to the history, you need to go to Settings, Display and Touch, Lock Screen, Now Playing, and then find Now Playing History. Thankfully, once you're here, you don't need to go through that again. Hit the three-dot icon up here, tap Add to Home Screen, and then you can access your Now Playing history whenever you need to. Speaking of accessing things quickly, the next feature that doesn't get much attention is Quick Tap. Unlike Now Playing, Google doesn't walk you through this feature when you're first setting up the phone. So, you either need to know it's there or stumble upon it while browsing your settings. What this feature does is allow you to tap twice on the back of your Pixel and have that action perform some kind of task. To do this, open Settings, scroll down to System, tap Gestures, and then tap Quick Tap to start actions. Here, you can choose from a few options on what double tapping the back of your phone does. Myself, I have this set to turn on the flashlight, but you can have it open Gemini, play or pause media, or even open a specific app. Just know that some of these actions, like launching an app for example, will require you to unlock your phone before it can complete the action, which makes the whole idea of Quick Tap much less quick. That's why I like the flashlight shortcut, because that works even if your phone is locked. I know what you're thinking. What if you accidentally turn on your flashlight with this gesture? If you find that happens too much, you can always flip this toggle on the Quick Tap page, which requires you to tap pretty forcefully for the action to trigger. Quick Tap is great for when you want to actively make something happen. But what if you want something to happen automatically? Well, Pixels have a system for this called Rules. It's not as robust as I would like it to be, but it is really useful once you set it up. First, head to Settings, System, and then Rules. In here, make sure you tap Next to turn on background services so it is always running. Then, tap Add Rules to make your first one. Using Rules, you can have your Pixel enter various audio states depending on your location or the Wi-Fi network you're connected to. This is really useful if, for example, you want your phone to automatically go into Do Not Disturb mode whenever you're near your local movie theater, but turn back to audible ringing when you are on your home Wi-Fi. What I would love to see Google do here is give us a lot more options. Samsung's One UI has way more variables in its own system called routines that is so much more robust than this. Still, this is useful just as it is, but I hope Google can compete better in the future because this needs a shakeup. And speaking of shaking things, another of my favorite Pixel features actually involves giving the phone a shake. When you open the camera app, the default view is the rear cameras. But if you want to quickly take a selfie without touching the screen, just give the phone a shake and it will swap to the front-facing camera. This also works the other way, so you can just shake to get to the system that you like. If this doesn't work for you, you might have turned it off accidentally. To turn it back on, go to Settings, System, Gestures, and flip Camera for Selfie. Make sure that toggle is on. One super cool thing about this is how easily you can go from having your phone in your pocket to taking a selfie. By double tapping the power button, you launch the camera, even while your phone is locked, and then by shaking the phone, you swap to the selfie camera. You can then use the volume key to snap a shot, meaning you can go from phone in your pocket to snapping a selfie without ever touching your display. Nice. I also have one extra bonus tip here for selfies, which is the Selfie illumination feature. I feel like Google doesn't do a very good job of explaining how this feature actually works. Many people probably think it just makes your selfie photos brighter through AI or something, but it's much more useful than that. By turning this toggle on, there will be a 1-second delay after you hit the shutter button while taking a selfie. During that delay, your phone screen will turn bright white, which illuminates your face. It then captures a photo, giving you much better lighting than you would get without it. The best part is that once you turn this on, it's always active whenever you're in selfie mode. At least until you restart your phone. Then you need to turn it back on again manually. Your Pixel can do a lot more with your face than just illuminate it for selfies. My next favorite Pixel feature is when you pair face detection with the auto rotate feature. Most people know that this quick settings toggle turns the auto rotate feature on or off. But many people don't know that if you long press the tile, you can turn on face detection to work in tandem with this feature. With this active, your phone screen will rotate when you put it into horizontal mode, but it won't rotate when it senses that your face is also horizontal. This makes it so your phone's display will remain in portrait mode if you are in bed, which saves you from needing to manually toggle the feature on or off. Don't forget that Pixels also have this little pop-up button that appears when you put the phone into landscape mode and have auto rotate turned off. Google really wants to make sure you have plenty of options for your phone's orientation. Oh, and speaking of little pop-up buttons, it would mean a lot to me if you hit the like and subscribe buttons below. My channel is pretty new at the moment, so every button hit helps. We're winding down towards the end here, but I still have two more things I want to mention. By swiping up and holding, you can launch the recent screen, sometimes called the overview screen. Here you can see all your open apps. On Pixels though, you have this nifty select button. When you hit that, you can easily copy text from any open app without needing to actually be in that app. You can also share the text or even start a Google search right from this tiny little menu. It's even better for images. If you want to send someone an aspect of what's on your screen, but not the whole screen, you normally would need to take a whole screenshot, edit it, and then send it. But with this tool, you can simply select the specific image you want to work with. Now you can share just that one photo without needing to edit anything. Or you can search the web with that image using the lens button. This is so useful and so much faster than working with screenshots. Okay, the last thing I want to suggest is a feature that's hidden in plain sight, which is the Pixel Tips app. People tend to skip right over this app because it seems about as much fun as reading your car manual. But you really should open it and check it out sometime, as it covers a lot of cool things your Pixel can do that you might not know about. The Pixel Tips app is also a great place to go to find out what's new with the latest Pixel drop. For people out there who don't use Pixels, a Pixel drop is a quarterly software update that brings new features. Pixels get security updates every month, but every 3 months we get a super update that includes all sorts of new goodies. The problem is that Google is notorious for announcing new features for Pixel phones, and then those features only work on certain models. And some of them launch with the drop and others come later. With the Pixel Tips app, you can see the new features that are actually active and available on your phone, which takes out a lot of the guesswork. I think I was on my 3rd or 4th Pixel before I ever touched the Pixel Tips app. And as soon as I did, I was like, man, why have I been ignoring this? Now I open it at least once a quarter to check on the latest updates. Anyway, that's my list of my favorite Pixel features that don't get as much attention as they should. As usual though, I want to hear from you. What tips do you have that I didn't mention? And if you want to be really helpful for future viewers, write down your top 5 Pixel features that any new Pixel owner should know about, even if those features are super popular. Oh, and I should remind you that I have a whole video about why I love Pixel phones so much. You should give that a watch, as it will tell you a lot about me. That's all from me though. I'll see you all down in the comments.